We are sent. We are sent by Jesus, just like those 72 mentioned in today's gospel according to Luke. As part of Jesus' mission and ministry, he commissioned people, for example, these 72, to go out and to prepare a way for his message, that the kingdom of God is at hand. And just like Jesus commissioned those 72, sent them forth to deliver this message, so too Jesus sends us. He sends us into the world to proclaim the good news, to proclaim that the kingdom of God, the reign of God, is at hand. As I have been praying over these readings this past week, what really captivated my imagination was, first, who were these 72 people and how were they chosen? And what kind of fear or apprehension might they have had that Jesus gives them the instructions that follow as he sends them forth? He must have known them at least a little bit and known their heart. And the first thing he tells them is that he is sending them out like sheep among wolves. Now, in the agricultural time of Jesus, people would have understood really the role of a shepherd is to keep the sheep and the lamb safe from any predators, wolves being counted among them. Because if they were led astray, they could be eaten and destroyed. And Jesus is telling them, it might feel that way, that you are placing yourself out there and not knowing to whom you are speaking, but be strong, have courage, for I am with you. And really leave the rest up to me. As he tells them later in that same passage, what do you need to bring? Basically, it's yourselves with your traveling companion, with peace in your heart, and the proclamation that the kingdom of God is at hand on your lips. Like in every time and place and culture, Jesus was combating certain things that were prevalent in his day. And as we are sent forth into the world, into our culture, to proclaim that the kingdom of God is at hand, that God has triumphed over death, that he has given us Jesus, his son, we are met with our own kind of wolves who are waiting to perhaps dismiss the message that we come to bring. I was thinking about, for example, the beautiful message of being pro-life that the Catholic Church has, from conception till natural death. And what a beautiful message it is that God is a part of our creation from the moment of our conception. Over my over 25 years of ministry, I have spent some time in neonatal units where young, little babies are born so early in their term, and the great lengths that parents go to in order for their children to survive, and how we have no apprehension at all to know that they are a child of God. They are those parents' child, whether they're born 2 or 3 or even 4 or 5 months early. We know that they are alive and that God is a part of their life. And so often, Catholics are ridiculed for their pro-life disposition or stance or teaching, and how sometimes as lambs, as we proclaim this beautiful message, that we could be made fun of or poked at. I was thinking about, in our culture today, there's this odd thing that when we say that we're pro-life, sometimes people accuse us of not wanting women to have good medical care or something, and that's completely not true. Being pro-life doesn't mean that we disagree that women should have adequate health care, and in fact, being pro-life is all about that. the number of people that I speak with, both men and women, who have had that tragedy in their life of having an abortion, for example, the pain that they experience afterwards is amazing. And we as a church continue to love and support all people. And that can be that great message, sometimes that wolf that wants to sort of twist our beautiful message that is given to us by God into something that is completely incorrect or misunderstood. That might be just one example of how even today we need to have that courage that those 72 did as they went out like lambs and sheep among wolves. But I want us to be encouraged, not discouraged. I want us to understand that they too had apprehensions, but Jesus sent them out and said, you really don't need anything. He says, don't take anything with you. Behold, I am sending you like lambs among the wolves. Carry no money bag, no sack, no sandals, and greet no one along the way. Into whatever house you enter, first say peace. Peace to this house. And if there's a peaceful person living there, your peace will rest upon them. If not, it will return to you. We can risk nothing in Jesus' name because we know that when we offer Christ and people don't accept it, it just returns so beautifully back to us so we can continue to bring that message to others. We are being sent, just like those 72 are being sent in the gospel today. As we continue to plan and prepare ourselves to move forward from our 70th anniversary to our 75th, we have adopted a document by the United States Catholic bishops called Forming Missionary Disciples. And we're going to frame our ministry in these categories so that we can make sure that we're really taking serious the call to have encounters with Christ, the first step. The next is accompaniment. When people meet Jesus, we are responsible to travel along with them, to accompany them, so that their faith continues to grow and is nourished. And we've done that with small group and other kinds of faith formation. So the first is encounter of Christ and then accompanying each other into community, which is here, where word and the sacrament, Jesus' body and blood, strengthens us for our journey. And then the final step is being sent into the world as disciples of Jesus to proclaim the kingdom of God is at hand. It is as close to us as our hand is to our heart. And that's pretty close, right? I used to, when I would talk about this with the school kids, I'd ask them to put their hands out in front of them. So why don't you do that? Put your hands out in front of you as far as you can reach. And that's how close the kingdom of God is. It's not far away at all. It's right here in our midst. If we don't believe it, we cannot proclaim it in peace. And Jesus sends us forth today and every day, like those 72, to proclaim the kingdom of God is at hand.